Hello everyone, hope you all are fine. Today, first I'll discuss the syllabus, the council prescribed syllabus, because many of you I guess have not downloaded the syllabus yet. So you all are facing certain problems. So I'm just telling you, I'm sitting with the syllabus, I'm just telling you the highlights or the points which are there in the syllabus, so that it will be easy for you to understand what is atomic structure is all about. Still now many of you are confused with the chapter, that we don't have this chapter called atomic structure, we have some other chapter, atom molecules, radicals, or atom molecules, and these are just names which are mentioned. So today I'm just highlighting the points on which you need to discuss, because all the two chapters that already we have done, those parts are, I hope, clear. The syllabus is clear over there because you all have given exam. This is the one chapter which is new, that's why let me first clear you what is there in the syllabus, and then we will be proceeding as we are doing other days. Previous week we have discussed certain question answers from exercise. I discussed the answers also. I hope you all are writing down those answers when I am telling the answers. So let us today see the topics. So the first topic, the chapter name is atomic structure. You see the chapter 4 in your book. See, we have total 4 chapters in the book till now which we have done, where chapter 3, that is separation techniques, element compounds mixture, is omitted. You need to see the revised syllabus that is given in the council's website, reduced syllabus. So due to the situation, as you all know, syllabus is a bit reduced, and chapter 3, that is elements compounds mixture, is not there anymore in the syllabus. So if you omit chapter 3 and then you switch to chapter 4, 1, 2 and 4. So this is the 4th chapter, whatever the name it is, you check whether these topics which I am telling are there in your book or not. That you first check. If you are not sitting with the book, if the book you have, or if you are writing in the copy, as I am discussing all, I am giving you all the notes. So those who do not have book, don't worry. You just write the points. So it will be easy for you to understand what you need to read. The first point in the syllabus is given is, an atom is the smallest particle of the element. That means you need to know about the atom. That means subatomic particles is actually not mentioned here, but then also to understand the radical we have discussed that. So you need to know definition of atom, example of atoms. So first topic is atom. Second is, it is not capable of independent existence. That means we have read about atomicity. We know that atoms individually alone cannot exist. Means in free state one atom will not exist. Either they will form molecules through making 2 atoms like diatomic, triatomic, or if it is monoatomic, the n numbers of atoms, that is a large number of atoms. Those atoms will be there together in a sample or in a substance to stay together, and there all the atoms will exist together in them. The force of attraction may be less, may be more. Like in noble gases, the force of attraction is very less. Gases, in fact, why to say only noble gases? But n number of atoms will be there in a sample of a substance. Third is, the properties of an element depend upon the atom constituting it. That means any element. We are talking about, suppose, iron. So iron's property is basically the property of its atom. The atom's property is reflecting as a whole in the substance. That means if I give a simple example like magnesium or aluminium, the metals, we say it's a metal. Why? Because the atoms of the metal are showing the properties of the metal. They can lose electrons. They have tendency to stay in a positively charged ion. We know that Na is plus charge, means Na forms plus charge. Mg forms 2 plus charge. Because the atoms forms positive charge, they are electropositive, and that is why the metal as a whole, the substance is metal. So atom's property is actually the metal's property. Like as we are inside, that will be reflected only outside, right? So if you are very much lazy, sleeps all day, that will be reflected on your face. You will be very sleepy, dumb. And if you are very much energetic from the inside, it will be reflected in your face that you are a very energetic person. So same for substances. Fourth is a molecule is the smallest part of an element or compound capable of independent existence. It consists of one or more than one atom of the same or different element. So what they are talking about in the syllabus, that sorry, it's about the molecules. So molecules can be a compounds molecule or a molecule like hydrogen molecule, oxygen molecule, nitrogen molecule. So these are the molecules which are made up of same atoms. Like O2 is made up of only oxygen atom, N2 is made up of only nitrogen atoms. But if we are talking about a compound like water, water is made up of water molecule. In water molecule there are more than one type of atoms. Hydrogen, oxygen, these are the type of atoms which are present in one molecule of water. We all write the formula, that is H2O. H2O is actually made up of hydrogen atom, oxygen atom, but oxygen molecule is made up of only oxygen atom. So each may have same kind of elements or each may have different kind of elements depending on what molecule it is. Next is a radical is a single atom of an element or a group of atoms of different elements behaving as single unit and with a unit charge on group. So as we have discussed the definition of radicals or compound radicals, radical can be having a single atom which will have a charge in it. It can be called a radical, or it may have a group of atoms which will have a fixed charge on it. So it depends. You may have this group of atom or you may have a single atom. They will have a fixed charge in it, and during the formation of the compound or during the process of reaction, though reaction we have not done yet, charge remains intact. So that's the definition of the radical. So that you have in your syllabus, knowing radicals and their formulas. Next is atomicity. Atomicity definition, that's given in the bracket also in the syllabus, number of atoms in an entity. I always suggest to mention like number of atoms present in a molecule of it, of elements and compounds, monoatomic, diatomic, triatomic and polyatomic. Now here one thing to say, that they have mentioned atomicity of both elements and the compounds. That means in oxygen molecule, if we want to say the atomicity of the oxygen molecule, it will be 2. In water molecule, there are 3 atoms, 2 hydrogen, 1 oxygen. They are not similar, they are dissimilar atoms, but then also there are total 3 atoms, and we can call it triatomic as well. Maybe the atoms are not similar, maybe atoms are made up of different kinds of elements, but they are triatomic as well. So ozone is also triatomic, water is also triatomic. See, that can be a very good question in fact. See, ozone is also triatomic and water is also triatomic. Then what is the difference between ozone and oxygen? The difference is that the atoms with which the ozone is consisting is basically similar types. Ozone is made up of similar types of elements, whereas water is made up of dissimilar type of elements. It contains hydrogen as well as oxygen. Next, associate the first 20 elements in the periodic table with their names and the symbol. Now, as I have kept this periodic table discussion for the activity class, because I have given you all activity based on periodic table. So this 20 element discussion we are doing in that activity or extra class that we have received from the previous week. There all the periodic table discussion regarding the table, regarding the project we will be doing. So periodic table discussion and also related question answer discussions we will be doing in that particular class. That is there. Don't forget that whatever we are doing in the activity, that is there in the syllabus. That's not out of the syllabus. And the final point is the valency, is the combining capacity of an element or the number of hydrogen atom with which is the it combines or replaces. The final topic is about valency. Valency, the term has come from the word valency, as you are reading from classic. It's a combining capacity, or they have said the number of hydrogen atom with which it is combining or replacing. Meaning, if hydrogen or better to say magnesium is combining with 1 oxygen atom, that means oxygen itself has valency 2. How we have got that? Water, in water, 1 oxygen atom is combined with 2 hydrogen atoms. So oxygen's valency is 2. So one magnesium is combining with one oxygen atom. So obviously magnesium's valency is also 2. In this way we are getting the concept. Or magnesium can replace 2 hydrogen atoms in a reaction. So magnesium valency is 2. So this is how we actually find out the valencies. And also valency can be explained very nicely in a very scientific way by taking the transfer of electron, number of transfer of electron, number of gaining of electron, number of losing electron. That will help you to know the valencies. So these are the topics. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 topics are there. Based on these 8 topics, you will be having question answers, basic question answers that you have in exercise. Also, it can have some application based question answers that we all have discussed already in the previous week. I guess we have discussed that XY based problem. More XY based problem will be there, but I hope now the syllabus is clear to you all. So that's about atomic structure. Whatever the name of the chapter it is, if you have these topics in the chapter 4 in your book or the notes that I am providing, you are okay, and I hope you all are preparing for that. Next day we will be continuing discussion with this chapter question answers, and the periodic table discussion we will continue in the activity class. Take care and bye.